If you're a fighting game fan, you've noticed this already. Blocking in fighting games feels very unrealistic, but it feels more like when you're blocking that there is a shield. It doesn't really feel like your character is reacting to incoming attacks. The only game that I can think of where blocking just feels weighty, feels satisfying, is a game called Kakudo Jojin on the original Xbox. But other than that, blocking just seems like an afterthought in fighting games. Well, until now. And I'm sure you've seen this before. This is the new Virtua Fighter trailer. Graphics just look insane, right? Look at that. The characters reacting to each of the punches and kicks. Oh, so he blocks the punch and then he's gonna block the kick right after. It just looks insane. You can really see the impact and the physics involved here, right? However, unfortunately, I gotta tell you something. This whole thing is just not real. It's choreographed. And you can even see it here. It even says so in the video. Pre-development in-engine footage. So the graphics is real, but it's not actual gameplay. But fortunately for us, we do have actual gameplay on the new Virtua Fighter game. So the camera angle, as you can see here, is zoomed out a lot more versus very close up in the previous trailer. Pay attention to the blocking. So the idea is there. She moved her arm up and down to block different attacks, but the impact is not really there. It's still super cool though. Look at the way she used her leg to block the kick. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. That is just so cool. And you can immediately tell that this is Virtua Fighter. The speed is very fast and the moves are very familiar. And did you see the impact there when Sarah gets thrown? There's not much impact at all. See that? There's no bouncing or anything. As soon as she hits the ground, she just lays there. I feel that moving forward, all fighting games need to have animations like this. And as cool as this is, I just wish that it's a little more weighty. Just like the trailer, the original trailer. Let's take a look at some of the current fighting games that are out right now and see how they handle blocking animations. So first, let's start with Street Fighter 6. Okay, light punch. For a medium punch, he does react differently. Look at that. And then hard punch. So he goes a little bit lower. So there's variations for each level of the punches. However, it's the same animation, right? So there's the same blocking animation for all light attacks and same animations for all medium attacks. He doesn't really block her arm, you know what I mean? And same thing for heavy attack. Okay, let's see, kick. Oh, there you go. He's using his leg. See, so for crouching attack, he actually crouches down. Crouching light. Crouching mid. Is it the same animation? Yeah, it is. Standing light kick. Standing mid kick. Oh, there you go. His arm goes high. Whereas with the light kick, he uses his leg. That's cool. Hard kick. Let's see how he reacts. Kind of gets knocked back a little bit. But it's the same animation as the mid kick, unfortunately. I like how his arm is raised or lowered based on where the attack is coming from. Take a look at his arm. See, he brings it down. See that? For the low attack. And for an attack that's a little higher, look at his arm. You see that? It's a little higher. Until today, I never really pay attention to this. So there's a lot of variety in Street Fighter 6 blocking animations. Let's test parries. Let's see if he actually blocks the arms and legs. Okay, that's light. Okay, it's just the same animation, unfortunately. It does take into account where the attack is coming from. Now, while the blocking animations are pretty cool, what's missing here is the impact of the punches. If I do an attack, the animation just plays through the same way every time. It doesn't get reflected. This is the animation when it's not getting blocked, and it's the same animation when you are getting blocked. If you mod Skyrim, there's something called hit stop, right? So when you hit, the animation will stop, but this doesn't stop. It just goes right through. So maybe that's something that future fighting games can do. It's hit stop animations. You see how she just spins right through? Alright, so that's Street Fighter 6. This is DOA 6. Okay, this high punch. Okay, it doesn't really block the arm at all. Alright, mid. Okay, let's do a low punch. Alright, she ducks. It's the same animation for a light punch and a high kick. You see that? Same thing here for punches and kicks. The one thing that's cool about DOA are these things called guard breaks, right? So for example, this kick here kind of breaks her guard, and there's a lot of impact with this. You can feel it. This animation here is different than this one. See, now this one, she really gets knocked back. There's different degrees to the guard break. See, this is just a little bit, this is a little bit more, and this is like crazy knockback. Just like Street Fighter, there's height adjustments in terms of the blocking animations, but there's no hit stop. Alright, let's take a look at Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, I really don't like the animation of Mortal Kombat. It just looks so choppy and robotic. Yeah, again, you know, there's the shield effect, right? So high, in terms of hit stop, looks like it's the same animation when you're hitting and getting blocked versus not hitting anything. She does bring her hand up for the high attack. Let's see, mid, brings her hands down. What about low? You know, to me, it looks like she just went down instantly. There's no transition. With an overhead attack, she kind of bounces back a little bit. Let's see how it handles some combos. Pretty typical. With Mortal Kombat, just like a lot of current day fighting games, it's kind of the same thing. It's got height adjustments, but other than that, not much to the blocking animation. Alright, we have Tekken 8 here. Let's take a look. Left, right. Okay, it's the same animation. Her hands are raised on high punches, and for mid, she kind of blocks her stomach right there. And then low, she crouches. Yeah, right there. You know that last punch, right? She should be knocked back a little bit based on the impact. That last punch was powerful, but she just stands there. As if nothing's happening. Again, we don't have any hit stops. Oh, that's kind of cool. For the nunchuck move, she kind of get knocked back a little bit. A really powerful move. Okay, again, she get knocked back a little bit, so that's cool. For the heat burst, let's see. There you go. There's different reactions. So you got the same animation for left and right punches. And it's been like this for years. This is nothing new. So that's Tekken 8 for us. Alright, SoulCalibur 6. In theory, you would think that with weapon-based fighters, that the blocking animations would be easier, right? Because they're animating the weapons versus fists and legs, right? This is horizontal. Right, she could bounce back a little bit. And then vertical attack is a little different. Pay attention to her feet. I like how she steps back a little bit after each attack. Look at that. That's cool. Let's do a combo. Her weapon changes position after each attack. Here it really does look like she's using her weapon to block it. Look at that. Pay attention to the second attack. You see how it changes? From the front to the back. You know, this is actually pretty cool. Sung Mina is actually reacting to where the attack is coming from. Okay, in this case, the attack is going to come from the background to the foreground, right? And look at this. Now the second attack is coming from the foreground to the background, and then she's going to react accordingly. You see how her weapon is orientated toward the screen. So for vertical attacks, that doesn't really happen. I kind of wish that she raised or lowered her weapon a little bit based on the direction of the attack. Let's say kick. There's a little bit of a knockback there. SoulCalibur is pretty weighty, I would say. You really feel it. Maybe the sound effects has a lot to do with it, the weapon effects. And you hear that little grunt at the end too. Now for low, even the low attack has different animation. So that's different than this. Pay attention to the weapon. See this one, her weapon bounced back a little bit more. Versus this one. It's more vertical. Okay, let's see. What about straight on attacks? Yeah, here you kind of see that shield effect, right? She doesn't really block the weapon. Just goes right through her. Look at the end of the animation. Look how the weapon kind of magically resets itself. You see that? It goes back up. She's gonna go from standing to low. There you go. That looks really realistic actually. In terms of the current fighting games, or at least the games that I play, I say SoulCalibur probably has the best blocking animation. I love how she changes the directions based on the attack. Again, the only thing that's missing are hit stops, right? But I get it. If you have hit stops, how are you gonna deal with combos? And when I'm talking about hit stops, this is what I'm talking about. You see the attack animation is actually stopped. Alright, look at this. Okay, you see that? That kick gets stopped. Instead of going right through, it goes back down. There we go. Same thing with the arm here. See, it stops. It does not continue. I know this is probably choreographed, but why can't we have it like that? That would be perfect. With hit stops, it's gonna make it so much more realistic. And again, I realize that this is not actual gameplay, but man, watching this trailer, this little sequence here, just makes me think what could be. But unfortunately, we get this, and I don't think there's hit stop here. Yeah, no hit stops there. Oh man, come on, Sega, just go all the way. It still looks pretty damn cool though, I have to say. I just love how she moves her arms around. So it goes from high here to low. Oh my god, that looks so good. The new Virtua Fighter game is setting the bar pretty high for blocking animations. So for the newer games after this, it's gonna either have to match it or surpass it. And I can't wait for that.